Hello, everyone. Welcome to Talking Horses. Andy Serling in the clubhouse studio here at the Big A. The Big A, Anthony Stabile, is to my left, be joining us. Head on over to NYRA Bets. If you're not a member of NYRA Bets, no better time than the present. We will match up to a $200 deposit. Use the promo code Big A, million point hit and split on the early pick 4. That's races 2 through 5 on our 8-race card today.
Got to get involved in those hit and splits. You got to get involved in all those great promotions over at NYRA Bets, but certainly the ones here at the Big A, right? I mean, you got to get involved. Early pick 4. What's the matter?
I'm looking at the tie.
Tie's good.
The tie
my
looks
friend's
like, let's not discuss your friend's idiotic comment, but we will. It kind of looks like a runner, you know, when you go into like a long hallway.
I
it's
think
like
that's what he was trying to say, right? It does look like a runner.
I don't, but anyway.
It does look like a runner a lot, but I think it's a nice tie. I think it's a very nice tie.
I think it looks lovely.
Has a bunch of
goes very well with your new hair.
Different colors in it and stuff, different shades. Yeah, I mean, I always look great. So, I mean, the tie is just an accoutrement.
And people wonder why I abuse them.
46, by the way.
Yeah, it's down to 46. Anthony's excited.
The comeback began.
Lunch total is down to 46. It'll never dip below 40.
My friend.
It'll be 100 before it's 39. Anyhow, race number 1, final say.
Yeah, I don't think you and I have much today.
But I know one thing, and final say may very well. Wait a second. When did the 6 get scratched here?
Oh, yeah, I had the 6 scratched. You gave me the 6 scratched on your tweet.
I wrote it wrong. I thought the 4 scratched.
No, you wrote it right.
No, in my mind, I thought it was 4.
Yeah, no, on Twitter you had it right.
Well, I'm stuck with this horse, too, who is put in one of the worst hang jobs in the history of racing. I didn't want him, but given who's left here, he'll probably win by default.
Yeah, again.
He's going to be 1 to 5 in here.
Yep, he's going to be 1 to 5 in here. You know what, Andy? As ridiculous as this sounds, he probably should be, because the horse that took the money into him last time before he went down to favoritism, Crypto Gold, showed that he just cannot handle any kind of dirt track. I put him 3rd in here because I'm willing to give him one more chance. Because,
why?
Well, I had him 4th originally, but Due West came out, so I had no faith in the rest of them in here. This horse is going to be 1 to 5. He's an 0 for 10 maiden, and that's normally my cutoff, but I couldn't even make a case to pick against this horse.
He was awful last time. That was a terrible hang job. But
he was.
I agree.
But that race just makes him
left, with
King
the 6
Kong
being
in
scratched.
Here. Yeah.
With the 6 being scratched, it's very hard to. I don't want you to miss out on opportunity. I mean, how many times in life are you going to get to have a chance to see that? And I don't want you to miss on it. I don't care if we're on TV. Race number 2. Race number 2. You like the same horse as me?
You really are the best.
Go ahead. Tell us why you liked his epic.
You really are the best. First time Linda last time was against the boys for this filly. The blinkers go on. The barn's been red hot. She's at 1997, 3 away. I think we talked about this earlier. No scratches today. She has 4 in, so today could very well be the day.
This could be a record. No, it's already a record. Linda has 4 horses in her. She didn't scratch any of them.
Yeah.
That's a record. I looked that up, actually.
Yeah.
She's never had that. She's never run that many horses without a scratch. So it's like turning a corner.
Yeah, it gets back to a fast track. You know, look, I think this horse is going to have to improve. I don't think there's any way around it. This horse is going to have to improve. If the shipper comes in, you have the horse 3rd, second. I have the horse 3rd. You know,
why do you like her if you think she'll have to improve?
Well, I'm just hoping the blinkers, and you know, again, I use the bottom of the PP numbers, 30%, right around 30% first-time blinkers. You know, back against their own kind today. I just think everything points to this horse after getting that 10-week freshening.
Well, she ran against the boys last time, trying to go a mile. And it seems like sort of an odd spot to have run her. You almost wonder if Linda was using that race as somewhat of a prep for a horse that basically just lost. Well, that's what I wondered. Yeah. Anyway, Bodie Sunset's a new face in here, and we'll take a look at her race at Charlestown. I mean, I'm going to be honest with you. If she runs this race, she's going to be tough to beat.
Yeah, you got to remember, you know, Andy doesn't worry about it as much as I do. I think it's even more impressive. These bull ring races at 6.5, they're around 2 turns. So this filly carried her speed, and you'll say, well, it's easy to carry your speed around the 2 turns, and it is. But it's still tough to do for a horse.
Well, you said it's easy and it's tough. So which is it? Is it easy or tough?
It
can't be both. It can't be both.
Sure it can.
No, it can't. It can't be easy and tough. You know what it is? It's irrelevant.
No, it's not irrelevant.
It's gibberish, in my opinion.
Ordinarily, speed horses are aided by the turns.
Okay, so then she was helped by the fact that it was 2-turn race, in your opinion.
It's still difficult. It
can't be easy and hard.
It's more impressive that she did it as a first-time starter.
Why?
Because it's not an easy thing to do. And
do you think horses that win first time more often than not come back and repeat those performances, improve on them, or run worse?
Do I think? How do I think they react?
How do you think they do their next start?
It's very hard to generalize. I think they probably run.
Well, you're generalizing here.
Somewhat similarly.
But you're generalizing here.
I'm saying yes, I am.
So it can't be hard to generalize either.
Sure, it is.
Yeah, no, but you just said it was hard and then it was easy. You got to take a position. You can't straddle the fence.
Why can't it be? Hold on.
You can't straddle the fence. You can't say something is hard and it's easy.
Sure, I can.
You can, but it's buffoonery. It's not helping anybody.
It is, and especially in the shorter races,
you know what I
we're
think?
not accustomed to.
I think it's irrelevant.
Okay.
I think if the horse is good enough, she'll win today. That's what I think.
Well, it's a very rudimentary way of looking at it, isn't it?
But I think that's the truth. I think you're dressing it up with a bunch of mumbo-jumbo crap. It just doesn't really have much relevance. So she ran around 2 turns. Okay, we disagree. Cruising Strong, what about her? I don't like her. Here's her maiden win.
Yeah.
She shouldn't have won this race.
No, she probably shouldn't have. Filly on the lead was first-time Lasix, and she kind of just gets to her late in the game, this Casilda 40 tails. I don't know. If Bodie Sunset, who I would assume from the outside draw and showing speed first time out's going to go, I would imagine Sunflower Lows. I don't know where the speed went last time, but she went wide to wide 2 back. I would think from the inside draw, she'll try and show some speed. I think this filly could work out a decent enough trip. I put a second.
Sunflower Rose is the slowest horse in the race early. Isn't Miss Liana going to have some speed in here?
Say again?
Isn't Miss Liana likely to show some speed? Those aren't bad numbers, by the way, for Brad. Just the ROI isn't there because they're overbet. She can win. I preferred his Epic because, frankly, I wasn't really thrilled with Cruising Strong and thought Bodie Sunset was the other horse. I mean, I can't really make a case for the other horses in this race.
No,
I guess Sunflower Rose is impossible. Can this trainer get her back to the races she ran for Norm Cassie? I don't like that she ran so much worse off the
And this trainer's numbers here in New York are not as good as they are outside of town.
Where are they?
Mostly at parks. What are they? No, I don't know what they are. I just know this guy's brought plenty of horses in. I don't remember any of them winning. So.
You could look it up, though. You know what I think about random stats?
Well, he hasn't won.
You're sure? He hasn't won a race in New York?
I'm pretty sure he hasn't won a race in New York.
You're pretty sure?
Yeah, I'm pretty sure.
Okay, so we're sure or pretty sure?
You want to bet a lunch that he hasn't won a race in New York?
No, I just want to see the numbers.
Okay.
It's not that hard to look them up. Race
you
number
3.
three.
You had an excuse yesterday, 3 days off. Today you're just... You're chomping at the bit today.
I don't like when we come on and say, this guy has won a race in New York.
He hasn't won a race.
Give me the numbers. He's 0 for 30, he's 0 for 3, he's run 17 horses, every one of them was over 20-1, so he didn't really rate to win a race. I think you have to have context. Context matters. It matters. In a game of inches, context matters.
I guess.
You guess, you know I'm right. The one secret rules in race number 3 will not be 4 to 5. We'll be closer to 2 to 5 in this race. Be. And I think he's probably going to win.
Yeah.
It's hard for me to pick a horse that Leon Seidler owns. It was very painful, believe me, painful.
Well, it wasn't painful for me.
It was painful for me.
He's my main man.
Yeah, I know.
In a world of main men, he's one of my mainest men.
I'm sure he's touched.
Here already today, all settled in, ready to take his picture.
Good to know.
Yeah, I mean,
the only person outside of sales calls and spam calls that's blocked on my phone. He lost his privileges with his bad behavior.
Never had any bad behavior with me.
Yeah, he doesn't complain to you about stuff that's not in your department that has nothing to do with you like he does with me. It's very bad.
You know why he probably doesn't complain to me? Because I don't complain.
No, he's just ridiculous. But I like him. I agree. He's a nice person. And this horse is probably going to win.
You are. I mean, what was there something in the honey today?
You started off you started me off with that Charlestown mumbo jumbo. Trash talker. Here's the second choice trash talker. I hate the race trash talkers coming out of. I don't like the
among other things today.
I don't like
apparently
the maiden race the trash talker comes out of, and I don't like the race before.
But I kind of find myself, and I have a lot more confidence in secret rules than I do in final say in the first race.
Well, you haven't picked a Dermot Magner horse to run 1-2 and.
Well,
ever.
I mean, I picked this horse second. That's not true. The horse that won is this the horse that won the other day? Did I pick this horse second, I think? Yeah, I did.
Oh, by the way, Joseph Taylor, just since I have some stats, he's 1 for 5 at Aqueduct. I should have just bet you the lunch on principle.
You should have. You absolutely should have.
It's 1 for 5. Okay,
but you didn't get that stat, so I don't know if I fully believe it.
You don't? You think Steve made it up?
I don't think Steve made it up, but you didn't get it. Steve did.
I didn't say how to get it. I'm not the one that came on the show and started saying crap. It turns out you were completely wrong, which gets to my point. Don't do it unless you've looked it up.
I was surprised that he won a race.
Don't do it unless you've looked it up.
Very surprised.
I rest my case.
This horse would be the second horse, unless you're a believer that Him She Kisses was not turned around by the wet tracks, because Him She Kisses has improved with every start.
I agree. Him She Kisses. I said before last race.
I almost thought about
putting
this for a second.
Last race, the race 2 back is actually a lot better.
I did. I thought about putting this for a second. I don't know. I'm not fully convinced the wet tracks haven't helped. But maybe Gary just says it was going in the right direction.
He won with a horse actually you're very familiar with. He won with Southern King before he was sold to Todd Bletcher.
Mm-hmm.
Race number 4 has a very tricky horse in the 1 Starlight Mission, who is very tough to take. And I'll show you a stat for Linda. And it is an interesting stat. As Linda Rice is 3 away from that 2,000. And as you said, she figures to make some headway in that today. She wins with these horses. 50% drop in claiming price off the claim as this horse drops precipitously, but they don't cover it, so they're not great gambles. I tell you what, I don't like this horse, but I cannot find anybody else to bet. Horse did get caught by the kickback last time and was negatively affected by it, dramatically affected by it, and I think it mattered. But Magari is the 2nd likeliest winner, and I can't take Magari on top. Perfect trip to beat Evans Nice now last time.
Yeah,
seriously.
You know, I had a tough time putting Starlight Mission on top, and I just went to Magari. You know, it's almost like there's a little, there's like an appointment-only feel here. She doesn't run that often. There's usually at least 5 weeks between her races, and you saw the July to November layoff. It worked here. You're going to see another November to January layoff, very similar. You know, a couple
she was
little more
at
time.
least once.
I thought so too, and I don't know if we canceled or if she was scratched.
Yeah.
I don't remember. I don't remember.
Yeah.
But she, you know, she listen, she only went 5 times last year. She won 3 races. And that was the other part of this. She has one more win than Starlight Mission does. She has a win at the 10. Starlight Mission's races have come against restricted, whether they've been state breds or the 2 life.
Better than
yeah, but don't you worry, Andy. She's been gone almost 2 months, getting cut in half. I know Linda and Rudy claim horses off each other on a regular basis.
Listen, yeah, am I worried? Absolutely. If I could, and she's not going to be 8 to 5. She's going to be 4 to 5. If I could have found a horse to make a case against her, I would have. I don't disagree with you. I could not. I don't like Mimi Media, who David has the 2nd choice. I don't get her at all. She's coming out of restricted $5,000 claiming races out of town. I'm not a fan of this horse. And
yeah.
It's not like Michelle Nevin has particularly good numbers off of trainer changes.
You know, of the 2 horses that are coming back from Finger Lakes, Jacqueline D, who started her career here on the circuit for Dominic Scatino,
she's on that big hot run.
She went up there.
Off the turf winner.
She went up to Finger Lakes. She had some good races. She had 1 race that was just that inexplicable 77. I don't know where that race came from. And then she was claimed away from Dom and didn't do any running really for the new barn. Dom took her back. This was a homebred. Him and Sal Como own this horse in partnership. They claimed this horse back. That's Sal Lou JG.
She's not supposed to make the lead.
Yeah,
today,
no, she's not supposed to make the lead.
Deal with My Chester Charm on the outside.
Yeah, she's supposed to have to deal with the bottom horse. You would think Hector Diaz
would send her, and I'd like to see Hector get back to being a little more aggressive. So I liked Hector as a rider, but I think what when he's learned is to use his aggression.
Got to be more
aggressive. A couple
aggressive.
times he was getting a little more passive. Don't fall into that. And I say this to all, especially the young riders, don't fall into that passivity nonsense. It doesn't work. It doesn't mean you have to be in head-to-head duels every time, but if you're riding speed horses, you should be in front or very forwardly placed. I'm seeing too many horses that are supposed to be in front or on top of paces that guys are sitting 4th. Stop with that nonsense. It's a bad way to ride. Too many people think that's a smart way to ride. Constantly there was a horse rated in that 1 1/8 race yesterday. I know the Bill Mott horse was going to win regardless of what happened in there, and they knew that horse was going to win, but Dylan Davis rated the speed in that race. Why would you do that?
Yeah.
Why would you rate a 2-turn race, a distance challenged horse? The only way it's going to get to win the race is on the front end.
Yeah.
No, the horse wasn't going to win anyway, but you take away the horse's any chance the horse has to win by taking it out of its game. So if that horse's chances were, even if they were just 5%, they go to 0.
And it wasn't even that he wasn't on the lead. There was just no attempt to be forwardly placed.
In fact, looking to do the opposite.
But a lot of people look at it differently than we do. A lot of people feel like to get that, if you don't think a horse can get an added
and that's
distance,
based on the fact that that's never helped.
I disagree. I agree
no
with you 100%.
horse has ever been helped by being taken out of his running style to try to get a distance it doesn't want to go. None.
I agree.
It's like that line that Mig always says, that Alan Jerkins once said to a rider, you're trying to change evolution. I mean, it's just ridiculous.
Yeah, used to say
Race
that
number 5, we'll take a look at these horses. They feel like they're like already a couple, right? Intuit and Persista. They must come to the pad and go, hey, Good to see you again, right?
See you later.
Harvey Pack would always say that about like the New York Reds come in and see their friends. I don't know. They got blown off the track by a horse that looked pretty good. Harv's a little girl. I don't know. I ended up taking Persisto in the stalking position. I don't have a particularly strong opinion in this race one way or the other.
I went a little, I don't want to say off the reservation because the horse is the 7-2 second choice, third choice on the morning line. I went to Halo City.
Well, we'll show that Halo City replay right after we show this, Jose, as soon as, I know, it's fine,
Yeah.
I know.
I mean,
Is there anything Jose feels he needs to say that he doesn't say to me?
In the Win and Persisto.
He may be as annoying as I am, and that's not easy.
I have no comment. In the Win. I'd like to stress no, by the way. In the Win and Persisto, yeah, they've changed rules. Now, Halo City here is going to get cut down by a horse in Truth Hurts who came back to win the A other than on Sunday. I thought she was good on Sunday.
She wasn't, but she improved her by her figure 2 points.
I know the numbers.
But she legitimized the race.
Yes.
No, I don't think she was good. I don't think that she necessarily improved this horse's chances, but I think when a horse comes back and runs essentially the same race in her second start, and she ran fine. It's a bad field, but she ran fine. But she legitimized this race. So you could look at it and say, you know, this horse, because I think it's fair to have looked at it going in and saying, this horse came from a maiden claiming race where she didn't run that well, and there was that weird race she comes out of where there was the firster by Shug and a firster by Mark Hennig. Shug's horse was as dead as a horse could be, and Mark's horse took some nibbles late, but wasn't really bad.
She was on the rail that day. You kind of felt like Kendrick was going to be on the lead.
Yeah, she's actually off the rail, but she was inside.
That's what I meant. She was drawn inside that day, and she went. I have a funny feeling she's not going to go today, and I think she's going to be able to settle.
Well, with Rude
off.
Awakening scratch, she'll be in front.
Well,
if Kendrick rates her, then he should go from the gate and just turn her around and take her to the backstretch. How would you not be in front of her? Oh, she's going to not get the mile now rating?
You don't think In the Win?
Let me discuss the best. Let me discuss the best ride on yesterday's card. The ride by Kendrick on the Rick Schosberg horse that won that maiden race, because that first time start for Rob Falcone was aggressive, and that pace was hot. Compare that pace to some paces later in the day by that dark money, okay? And Kendrick said, I'm not letting this guy clear. I'm holding my position inside. And he went and he fought. And what happened? The horse benefited from it. Now, could the horse have won if you let him go and raid the outside? She might have. Might not have also. You ride the horses the way they're supposed to be ridden, and this is how Kendrick Carmouche established himself here by being aggressive when you're supposed to be aggressive. He was aggressive in times and surprised people and also won races, but Kendrick never rated horses that were supposed to be in front when he won here.
Yeah.
Ever.
I'm curious as to what goes on, because In the Win has shown some speed.
But they're not as fast as this horse. This horse is just faster, isn't she? Well, maybe not.
The blinkers go on with In the Win.
Maybe you're right. I don't know. Pace projector doesn't have her that fast. I think she's faster because I think her last race matters more.
Okay. I wonder what's going to go on with the blinkers with In the Win. And I don't know if it was just circumstance to put Halo City on the lead last time. We'll see. We'll see. It'll be interesting to see how this one unfolds.
Or maybe it was a rider change to Kendrick.
Say again?
Maybe it was a rider
change.
And circumstance is fair. I think that's very fair. I'm not.
Right, two firsters that we knew.
Yeah, no. I think you're right. I think right. She kind of found herself in the field, but also a second-time starter. They often have much more speed. We'll see. I mean, she may not be in front. I shouldn't. David likes Mirabella, the 7 horse in there. You know, it's interesting. I've seen some good stats in the past with maidens. They're usually maiden claimers with John Terranova, turf to dirt for what it's worth. Maidens, turf to dirt in their second start. It's just 1 for 12. I don't think I put it up because the horse will be a bit of a price. I'm dubious of this horse, a second full, 4-year gap. But not the worst field to try somebody new, but I don't think there's going to be much price in here.
Right, you'd say she's a reach, but she's probably going to be in that 7 to 2.
No, she's not a reach, and the problem is that people are going to see her buyer figure and say, oh, she's as fast as anybody in here, so I'll use her. And she's going to be bet for the wrong reasons. She's got a horse that at 6 to 1, but not a horse at 7 to 2. No shot
she's going to be 6 to 1.
Right, and not for me at 7 to 2 or 3 to 1.
Yep.
We'll see. I can say it's fair to say you don't love anybody in there. Race number 6. Who's doing race number 6, Ant?
I went to Puffery.
Okay, well, let's take a look at the race that Puffery and Bertranda and Forgotten Hero come out of. And we're going to start. And Forgotten Hero is the number 10 here, and that's who I want people to focus on. Because Forgotten Hero doesn't break. And that matters. And then you've got Forgotten Hero is rushed up by Benji Hernandez. I like to change to Raylu. And Raylu, go to the front with the speed. I think it's, for me, it's absolutely impossible to look at this race and take anybody other than Forgotten Hero. If you want to pick somebody else in this race, that's fine. But if you're going to look at the 3 horses coming out of this race, Forgotten Hero is clearly the one you want. This was one of the only horses that raced on the rail that day that did any particular running. This is a speed that didn't break, that had to rush up to set the pace, and she ended up collapsing towards the late stages. Hopefully she breaks cleanly today and gets to the front. I'm going to take my chances, especially against Puffery, who, frankly, I've just had enough of. She ran fine last time. I'm not saying she can't win, but I think if you want to bet somebody out of this race, you are supposed to be betting Forgotten Hero.
Okay. I obviously don't agree, but I'm not going to tell you not to bet a horse that's going to be 12-1.
She's not going to be 12-1, but I'd be very happy if I got 6 to 8 to 1 on her. I think that's a very fair price on a horse, in my opinion. I'm not saying she's the horse to beat, but I think it's a lot closer than a lot of people.
You think she's only going to be 8-1?
I don't see how she could be that big a price in here.
You think?
What's so bad about her races? Oh, I'm sorry. I'm sorry. I missed the killers in this field.
There aren't any.
Right.
What
do I think she should be? I think she should be 3 to 1 in here. That's what I actually think she should be.
Wow.
And I'll be shocked if she's the biggest price on the board. You don't think she's going to beat?
She'll probably be a bit. She'll probably be a shorter price
than
she'll probably be a bigger price than Spring Drama. Maybe she's a shorter price than Spring Drama. Maybe she's a shorter price than Orchid Party.
To me, she's.
But you're the one that tells me, and you're right. They like to bet ones. And
to me, she's the only horse that you could bet in this race. Doesn't mean she's going to win, but I don't know how you don't take her.
I just don't trust her anymore.
Neither do I. But I think she's a very interesting horse.
And
I think she ran very well last time. I think she runs back to her last race and she breaks. She'll be fine.
Okay. Listen, I don't have.
So I guess horse has no good races.
No. She had races last year. She won a Stallion Series race. That Stallion Series race would make her very, very competitive.
It's not like her turf races are horrendous.
Well, doesn't that worry you a little bit that her turf numbers are a little bit better than her recent dirt numbers?
I think her last race is actually really good.
Okay.
I actually think her last race is very good.
Okay. I went to the 2 horses that are going to inherit her. Puffery and Betrayal.
Yeah, they'll be the 2 horses chasing her down the stretch. I get it. No, I understand. But I think at a better price, I much prefer Forgotten Hero.
Okay.
Race number 7. Who's the favorite here?
I have no idea. I had a really tough time with this race.
I was surprised David made My Roxy Girl the favorite. He's usually right, and I'm wrong in these circumstances. Let's look at Carrizo, who comes off a race here just the other day. I don't know. I don't have a knock on Carrizo. It's one of the horses to beat. I thought the 5, 6, 7, 8 were the right horses in here. Yeah.
I had sprinkled a little foreign as well. I had a tough time separating these horses. I know I'll get some. The way you're going today, I'm going to hear this. But this filly's races on wet tracks, not as good as her races on dry tracks. Her best races anyway. And I know her better races may have come for Danny Gargan, but
what about her sloppy sealed track race November of 2018 when she ran second with a 77 buyer? That wasn't a good race.
I said her better races are on fast tracks.
No, it's just is what it is. It's just nonsense. You talk about a horse that ran on a good Harrow track, and you're going to really. So you think that she's, if the track was listed as fast, she'd run a lot better that day? You really believe that? You actually believe that?
I think there was still some residual moisture in the racetrack.
Okay, I think this is hooey, but we've been through this 100 times.
It's all hooey.
It's nonsense because you've got to look at the races horses ran. I'm going to keep saying this.
What do you mean by that?
Because you're telling me she's better in a dry track, and she's got sloppy sealed track race that's very good. Her last race in the track with moisture is the best race she's run in 4 starts. So it doesn't. Isn't backed up by facts. In fact, the facts in front of you argue your point.
Her 3 fastest races are on fast tracks.
So what? But her last race is faster than her 2 previous ones on fast tracks. It's a distraction. It's a distraction from what matters. It doesn't matter. I can't see how anybody thinks this matters, Anthony.
I don't agree.
I know you don't, and I think if you get away from it, you'll stop distracting yourself and you'll start paying attention to things that matter. I do.
I don't agree with you.
I know you don't, but I think that you should think about it. My Roxy Girl beating Jump for Joy. I think Jump for Joy is going to the lead in here, and I'm going to try to wire the field with her. That's my move. We'll see if Eric's aggressive. I don't know what to do with My Roxy Girl, because the good My Roxy Girl will just win this race. But you have to be a little concerned. Her form has tailed off dramatically.
Yeah.
And Linda improved her on the race she ran for Mitch Friedman. Danny only had her for 1 race. And she ran well for Mitch for a long, long time. And this is kind of the worst she's gone for 2 straight races, and that's a concern for me. I wouldn't let her beat me, but I'm concerned. And if she's going to be the favorite, I'm happy to try to beat her.
Yeah, I want to use 4 or 5 horses. Unfortunately, I want to use 4 or 5 horses.
You don't have to use Mo Flash. Eddie
in
Barker
here.
doesn't train her anymore. You can move on from her. She's not Eddie anymore.
What was wrong with Mo Flash's last race? I mean, it's a little slow. I get that.
What was wrong with it? It's a little slow. It's
a little
because
slow.
There's too many horses that are faster than she is.
But she's going to be the best price of those 4, isn't she? I think your horse is going to take some money in here today.
I don't like her at all, so I had her 5th because I had to have somebody 5th. I think Miss Jack is interesting. I mean, you can't leave out horses from Rob Atras.
No.
You just can't. Look at that horse in the feature. We talked about in yesterday's show that horse was dangerous. I'm mad at myself for not hitting the pick 5, that I only singled the favorite. Fortunately, I saved a little bit, but that horse was dangerous, and Rob's horses are dangerous.
Yeah, and she's a must-use in here. I almost, I had a hard time separating 5, 7, and 8 a little more so than 4 and 6. I almost put her on top, but I don't know. I wonder how much money she's going to take because of the Atras factor.
This is a race where the board, I mean, Dave would say the same thing. It's like, somebody I know has been complaining, David had 2 horses at 7-2. I don't understand why that's problematic. I don't care that much. I don't think the person really cares. I think they were just more making a point to me. I think what David's saying is, this is a tricky race to know how they're going to bet him, and I think either Carrizo or Miss Jack could be a shorter price. I think
4, 5, 6, 7, 8 won't be separated by 4 points.
You have to be careful about taking things too literally. And in races like this, somebody invariably is dead, and somebody invariably is a shorter price than you expect.
Correct.
Especially around here in the winter.
The dead one of the 5 will be Mo Flash. If one of them goes
Mo Flash,
dead,
in my opinion, should be 8-1. So I'm not sure what dead
Okay.
is. But so we picked the same horse in the last race. Why did you pick this horse?
I picked this horse off the equipment change, and again, more Rob Atras. That was it.
What about Rob?
I'm dropping down. I mean, the horse was dropping down from the starter allowance to the 25-2 life.
The horse was terrible
and the
first time.
I know. The horse was awful. I know.
Okay, I'll show you a stat for Rob Atras. What it's worth, second off the claim in the dirt. He's got very, very strong numbers. That's over the last year. And in that stat, he is 4 for 7. What is it? One of it's 4 for 7. Is it? I forget what it. Maybe it's routes. He's 4 for 7. I'll have to look it up. I'm not really sure. Regardless, he has very good numbers. Second off the claim. Oh, I know what it is. When his horses finished off the board, they were 4 for 7.
Interesting.
So he has very good numbers
Good recovery.
of horses that have run poorly first time off the claim, and they come back and they run much, much better. Nasty Affair, and the other reason I used her is Nasty Affair as well as Solitary Gem. I'm never picking Solitary Gem. She just doesn't win. And
I was done after the last time with Solitary Gem.
Nasty Affair, she's just not very good. Her best races are she sort of plods along and she makes a late run. How short a price do you want to take on a horse that's just a plodder?
Yeah.
Doesn't mean she can't win, but she's a bit of a plodder. And I think you're going to see Precision Charge much more forwardly placed in here.
Right. I agree with with everything you just said. And it probably,
Now
I don't want to say.
Now I'm very worried.
I don't want to say it compromises Nasty Affair. If a horse that we both consider to be the main rival is going to be the one that's more aggressive today, and I mean, she's supposed to be 6 or 7 lengths in front of her at every point of call in this race. This filly just has no speed.
Yeah, I mean, the
Nasty
concern with
Affair.
our horse is she was pitiful last
right,
time.
she could just
may
be
just
bad.
stink. Right, in which case, Nasty.
Well, the truth of the matter is, if she's just bad, this becomes.
Well, I got a question. David's got Smiles from Sadie 3-1. Is she really going to be a short price in here?
Listen, I don't know what's happened.
She
I don't
can't
know,
run anymore.
I don't, and if that's the case.
Talk about being second by default last time.
But Rudy took her back, and Rudy's running her on the raise. I can understand.
I couldn't bet this horse. First of all, when she was good, she never won.
I know.
So
You have two horses
even when she was in good form, she still hung every time.
You have 2 horses in here in Solitary Gem and Smiles from Sadie that just don't know how to win.
At least Solitary Gem's held her form.
Yeah.
At least Solitary Gem has actually held her form. She runs reasonably well every time.